Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Amar bin Salim. I am representing the Office of Advancement at LUMS. A very warm welcome to all of you. Today we'll be talking about the Executive MBA program that we're offering through the Salman Daud School of Business at LUMS. Before we start our discussion, it's my privilege to let you know that SDSB, which is short for Salman Daud School of Business, is Pakistan's first and the only business school in the country to have scored the AACSB accreditation. और ये एक ऐसी अचीवमेंट है दैट क्लब्स अस विद द टॉप 5% ऑफ द वर्ल्ड बिजनेस स्कूल्स। सो आज एग्जीक्यूटिव एमबीए प्रोग्राम के बारे में बात करने के लिए मुझे एक बड़े स्पेशल गेस्ट ने ज्वाइन किया है स्कूल से, SDSB से, डॉक्टर शकील जज्जा। डॉक्टर शकील, आप एग्जीक्यूटिव एमबीए प्रोग्राम के प्रोग्राम डायरेक्टर भी हैं, MS सप्लाई चेन एंड रिटेल मैनेजमेंट प्रोग्राम के डायरेक्टर भी हैं आप। थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर ज्वाइनिंग टुडे।
थैंक यू अहमद।
डॉक्टर जज्जा, स्टार्ट करता हूँ एक बड़े ऐसे क्वेश्चन से जो कि हमने कई दफ़ा डिस्कस किया है, लेकिन अपने सारे पॉडकास्ट को हम उसी क्वेश्चन से स्टार्ट करते हैं। व्हाई शुड समवन गो फॉर दिस प्रोग्राम? व्हाई शुड समवन गो फॉर द एग्जीक्यूटिव एमबीए प्रोग्राम? कौन से ऐसे स्किल्स हैं जिनकी ट्रेनिंग मिलती है थ्रू दिस प्रोग्राम?
Okay, so Amar, this executive MBA program is designed for those individuals who have been working for at least 6 years in their professional life, but generally the classrooms experience is 10 to 11 years on average. And these are those individuals who have been working in their own domains, for example, supply chain or IT or marketing or sales or finance. But now they are ready to take more senior positions, and those positions require them to have understanding of other domains of the business also, and also how the overall organization functions and what makes an organization more successful than other organizations. And not only the function that they are working in, because they have already gained in-depth understanding of the function that they are in. So this executive MBA program gives them the opportunity to understand the business as a whole, the organization as a whole, and also leverage the experience and diversity of other participants in the executive MBA program who have come with their own from different industries, from different educational background, from different domains of expertise, to understand that how business works in their industry and how business works in other industries also. So I think this is a program for those individuals who are preparing themselves for more senior administrative positions and leadership positions, and within their organization and in other organizations and other industries also.
Okay, so basically a program for people who are now looking for senior management positions.
Yes. Yeah.
They might have been specializing in a certain area, but now they're looking for a senior position, so they need to be equipped with multiple different information about different departments, right?
Senior to top.
Senior to top.
Yeah, so I would say that
Achha.
it's not senior only. So it's senior to top positions, because the classroom has people who are already very senior and are now looking at top positions, chief level positions in their organization. So they are already sitting in the classroom, and there are people who are already doing senior, managing senior responsibilities in their organization, and they are looking for more advanced roles in their organizations.
Okay, bilkul sahi. Achha, Dr. Jajja, we see that programs like MBA, Executive MBA, General Management programs are being offered by multiple different universities in Pakistan, globally as well. So how is pursuing the same program different from any other university in Pakistan or business school in Pakistan?
Yeah, so Amar, see, how do you differentiate a program? So I think there are 3 ways of defining a program's potential to impact a student. One is the faculty that engages in that program. So executive MBA faculty at SDSB is exclusive first within LUMS, and also it is exclusive in the country. I mean, you won't find a faculty in our executive MBA program teaching, the caliber. When you look at the league of that faculty that teaches in our executive MBA program, and you look at the league of faculty that teaches in executive MBA programs it's difficult to actually call them executive MBA program, because executive means executives. So if you don't have executives in your classroom, it's not an executive MBA program.
Hence the 6-year requirement you put forth.
So I mean, the other executive MBA program maybe, you call them weekend programs. You can call them maybe programs for professionals. But, to call a program really an executive program, it has to have executives presence
joining
in the classroom.
I get your point.
So, so when your classroom experience is 11 years or 10.5 years, which is the average in executive MBA program at LUMS, then you will find people who are CFOs, who are chief strategy officers, or you are chief technology officers in your classroom, and those who are growing very fast in their organization and they want to grow even faster, and coming in your classroom and the energy they bring in the classroom, then that's what is called as executive MBA. So I've talked about two things. One is the faculty, the exclusive faculty, high quality, world class faculty that we have in our executive MBA program, and the second is the group of students that you see in our classroom are exclusive. And the third thing is the infrastructure and the access to the ecosystem at LUMS. So you won't find the ecosystem and the network and the alumni and the support and the exposure and the opportunities that come across you when you're at LUMS.
There's so many things coming together. Bilkul. It's also about the overall university's infrastructure. जैसे आपने कहा, as a matter of fact, कि मतलब SDSB is just one of those schools. इसके अलावा भी बहुत सारे schools हैं. कि application, whatever you're learning over here, you may find its application in an entirely different school, but that would also be housed at LUMS. एक overall enabling environment है. तो बिल्कुल सही, point well noted. Dr. Jajja, before we move towards very admission-specific questions and funding opportunities-related questions, एक किसी अगर candidate ने already MBA किया हुआ है, they're working in an organization, do you think pursuing this program would still add value to their profile? MBA के ऊपर executive MBA करना?
Yeah, so see, so MBA in Pakistan, if you've done that already, then you have been working in a certain domain. I mean, you did that maybe 10 years back. You did it, and okay, you did it. You have to look at it where you did it from, and what value, how much value did you get from that program. But still, I mean, for last 10 years, if you have been working into finance only, so you're basically now a finance person. If you have been working into supply chain only, you did MBA 10 years back, and you were working in a supply chain, 10 years supply chain, you're basically a supply chain person now. So this executive MBA at LUMS will help you move from a supply chain person to a general management or a person who understands the business overall, and prepares you for taking the leadership roles in your organizations, which are not only limited to your domain of knowledge or expertise. They integrate the domain of expertise that exists in the organization that you do not understand currently. So it gives you the ability to integrate different functions in the organizations and in your organization, and also organizations in general, and prepare you to manage the organization overall. So that's how I think this degree can be useful for somebody who did MBA maybe 10 years back or 15 years back or 20 years back. Because as I said, there are people in our classroom who have 20 years experience, 25 years experience also. Average is 10 to 11. So if you look at from them, I mean, from their standpoint, MBA when they did was very old time. Yeah, things have changed so much.
Exactly. And if not the concept, at least the problems have changed, the landscape has changed, markets have changed, people have changed as well.
So you see, I can't recall where did I read this, but in 7 years' time, if you are given enough exposure, you are a different person.
That's absolutely true.
Okay. So the 6 years is minimum that you have to be at SDSB's executive MBA. So you are already a different person after your undergraduate education. So I think you require a new tooling, you require a new understanding of things. And
you require some new education.
So this is you changing in 7 years. The world is changing even faster. So I think, so that gives you some sense of, how quickly your knowledge base needs to be updated.
Updated, exactly.
To keep you updated.
Absolutely. बिल्कुल सही, Dr. Jajja. And also, as you mentioned in the beginning, ये वाला जो हमारा cohort होता है executive MBA का, it's filled with people who are CFOs, CTOs, C-level leaders, senior managers.
And middle managers also.
Middle managers
and
as well.
managers also. So this is a combination of them.
So it's a huge networking opportunity as well. कि अगर आपने MBA किया, you worked in the industry, now you have an opportunity to network. मेरा ख्याल है this is something that not just the universities but also business में भी इतना नज़र नहीं आता कि आपको बहुत opportunity मिले to get connected with people who are coming from a variety of different sectors, different industries, different roles they are in. वो आपको शायद एक business school एक चीज़ ऐसी दे सकता है. Dr. Jajja, moving on. So we know it is almost a 2-year program. It has multiple courses that you will have to complete. But there's also this very unique element of the globalization module. And I have always been fascinated with that because I've conversed with the students. They tell many stories about the things that they enjoyed, they learned during their time in the US. What's that globalization module all about?
Yeah, so this is basically giving them exposure to one of the most innovative and most impactful ecosystem of the world, which is Silicon Valley. So we take them there for around 10 days. We expose them to the most innovative companies of that space, to most prestigious universities of the world, to entrepreneurs who have been successful, to Pakistani community which has a creative business orientation and their impact in that ecosystem. So, and the exposure to the how other things are working within Silicon Valley is fascinating, is very, very different, is a lifetime experience, I would say, for almost all of them. And they never forget it. And it's the most, I think, impactful component of the program also. It has very lasting impact on their, how they view the world from a very different standpoint.
Exactly. And मेरा ख्याल है कि this adds to the overall commitment that we have, that will make your learning experiential. So उससे further spread करता है.
Yeah. So when you see those things, firsthand, it's a very different experience than, hearing about them from somebody else.
Yeah.
So when you look at Facebook in front of you, you look at Apple, you look at, Oracle head office, Facebook head office, Google head office, Stanford University, Berkeley University. So it's a very different,
and you're
when
interacting
you go
with
there,
them
when
real
you
time.
are interacting with their faculty, you are interacting with their managers, you are interacting with the entrepreneurs who are working there or who are leading their businesses. So it's a very different first-hand experience.
Exactly. बिल्कुल सही, बिल्कुल सही. So Dr. Jajja, let's talk about the work-life balance. So we know that the executive program we're offering over here is something that you do on the weekends, alternate weekends on top of that. How does that ensure कि एक executive का work-life balance will be maintained rather? Because we know executives are working throughout the week and then they would have to come to the campus. So आपको लगता है maintain किया जा सकता है?
Yeah, so it's a very demanding program, Amar. So the first thing is that it will have its own toll on your time, and you should come prepared that it will be demanding, it will tax you, so you come prepared. Secondly, but the program is designed in such a manner that this accommodates work, life, and education. So we have students coming from Karachi, from interior Sindh, because there is a lot of industry in interior Sindh, energy, petroleum, fertilizer, and so on. We have people coming from Peshawar, and even northern, more north, and we have people coming from all across Punjab also. And interestingly, almost for the last few years, almost every year we have 1 or 2 students who are traveling from abroad to take classes. So this year we have one student who is coming from Saudi Arabia. Every 2 weeks he travels and he comes here, takes classes for 2 days, goes back, and this speaks about 2 things. One, that this is a program that you can do with your job. Second, it gives you enough value that somebody wants to travel from that far and take this program. So this is what you want, that the program should be impactful and it should be doable while you work. So it does all those 3 things.
It does speak about how what someone's ability to be able to manage the load of the program. They're traveling from Saudi Arabia, coming to LUMS every 2 weeks. So they're doing it. So if they can do it, then people who are based in Pakistan, they can most certainly
Karachi,
do it.
Yeah, I would especially speak to the people from Karachi, that we have designed this program to attract talent from the south of this country. This is probably the only program that is targeting and is giving enough value to the participants from all over the country that they can do this program and they can benefit from this program.
Certainly. Actually, Dr. Jajja, let's talk about the admission criteria. So we know for a fact that if you're applying to the program, you need to have 16 years of formal education, of course, and then you need to have at least 6 years of work experience, personal application, recommendation letters, and then there's an interview component as well. So when someone appears before the panel, what does the panel look for in a candidate?
Okay, so they basically look for the person's ability to benefit from the program and the person's ability to benefit others, meaning their class fellows in the program. So that because peer-to-peer learning is a lot, and there's a lot of networking, and there is a lot of learning from it's going to be very. So we did not talk about the pedagogy because this is also linked with the pedagogy. So pedagogy is such that every student is assumed as a source of knowledge for everybody else. So when you base learning on that assumption, then you have to bring the student very carefully. You have to select the student very carefully because each student is a source of learning for everybody else. So that's why we look at the how do we do that? So we look at the person's educational background, we look at the person's experience, quality, as well as the quantity. And we look at the person's ability to creatively and analytically think in the classroom and contribute to others' understanding and knowledge. So these are the things that we look at when we are selecting a candidate for the classroom. And then taking a test or appearing in interviews or looking at your transcript or those things are tools to basically achieve this goal.
Right. Asha, so you also mentioned tests. So we know, okay, if somebody wants to apply to the program, they could go for GMAT, GRE, NTSCAT, or LGAT, whichever one they want to go for. How much significance do these tests hold? किसी एक बंदे की performance कितनी ज़्यादा important होती है?
Yeah, so
executive first time भी नहीं होता इतना पढ़ने का.
So what we have learned over time is that executive MBA program has a very unique target audience, and these are the people who are already doing very well and very busy in their work. So their ability to spare time and prepare for GMAT or GRE or NTS is limited, though their talent is, and therefore, the talent does not really reflect in the GMAT or GRE or NTS test results completely. So therefore, we are sensitive to what they do, how good they perform in the test. But at the same time, we look at the person's profile comprehensively. We look at other things also, because other educational details, the person's experience, the trajectory in the career, how the person comes across in the interview, the person's analytical ability, all those things count when we look at the application. So test is one component. There are many other important components.
Thank you very much for mentioning that, because we try and reiterate that we take a very wholesome approach when we're evaluating your application. So it's not anything that we're evaluating in isolation and making our decision based on just that. So it's everything converging together. Bilkul say, Dr. Jajja. Just last question. What are the ways to help someone finance this program? कौन से opportunities?
So first thing is that this is for executives who are already senior and overworking. They have a constant stream of income also, and this university is a not-for-profit university, and there are many other students also in this university. But still, we have some ways of financing executive MBA students. So first is this women's scholarship. So women's scholarship is you get admitted just because you are a woman, and we want to bring diversity in our classroom, and we want to enhance women's participation in businesses and in business education. Therefore, you get 50% scholarship because you are admitted on merit and you're a female. Then we have loaning scheme, I think, from MCB student loan. Yeah, so you can get that loan, which I think is quite, I would say, lenient terms compared to what you get from the open market. So that's the facility that you have. And sometimes, when students get admission in our program, their employers also value this. They also cherish this, and students can enter into some, contract with their organization, and sometimes, their organizations are willing to sponsor some or completely the program's finances. And some, unfortunately, there are some organizations who have already marked our program as something that they're willing to sponsor when you get admitted in LUMS Executive MBA. So I think these are some of the possibilities.
Right. Bilkul sahi. Thank you so much, Dr. Jajja. I loved the discussion. It was very, very insightful. If there is still anything that someone would be looking for, I think our website has a lot of information for that. There's a complete section of FAQs for that. Before we part ways, any last message that you would want to give out to someone considering to apply to the executive program?
Yeah, so I think one thing we did not talk about, and perhaps I can say that, is the pedagogy of this program. So this program is highly interactive, experiential, because it involves case study and participant-centered learning, which is very engaging and very enriching. And I think this is very enjoyable also when you become a part of this program. So you're learning through conversations. So in a classroom, maybe, in a 90 minutes classroom, 20-minute instructor's airtime, and 70 minutes is the student's airtime. So, but, instructor is an orchestrator in the classroom. So instructor would orchestrate when to invoke which resource and what to get out of there, and how will that make everybody else learn and progress intellectually. I think this is a very, very exciting, enjoyable experience as you go through the program. So if somebody is looking up for something like this, which is enjoyable, learning, and doable while doing job, and impactful, and this is a program for you.
Exciting time as well.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And hence we call it participant-centered learning at LUMS.
Yes.
Once again, thank you so much, Dr. Jajja. And thank you very much for joining us for this program. If you're considering to apply, please make sure we're getting your application latest by April 11th. And again, if there's anything that you would like to discuss, you could write your queries to us at admissions@lums.edu.pk. And you could also go and create your account today and converse with the representative of the admissions office. You just will have to click on the chat section within the admissions portal. We look forward to evaluating your application. Thank you very much. Allah Hafiz.